I know a lot of people are wondering if psychedelics can cure depression. And again, I'm not a shaman, I'm not a doctor, but for me, they absolutely did. And I think people have to do their own research and they have to talk to your own soul.
Welcome to the Spiritual Ride podcast. I'm your host, Alyssa LeBlanc, actress, content creator, and certified life coach. On this podcast, I'm going to share with you all my favorite spiritual things, from human design to ayahuasca. I'm going to share with you all the things I've learned that have helped me to become happier, cultivate more self-love, and become a way better manifester. Ready? Let's take a ride.
Welcome back to the Spiritual Ride. I'm your host, Alyssa LeBlanc, and this week I'm going to talk about the five of the things I learned from psychedelics that completely shifted my life. If you don't know my story, I was introduced to ayahuasca about 7 years ago, and it completely changed my life. She completely healed me. She set me on a new timeline, and I honestly feel like I'm a new person. I'm reborn, and it's thanks to psychedelics. And I continue to use psychedelics to heal myself. Quick disclaimer, every time I have done ayahuasca ceremonies, it's been with integrated shaman who ask you questions to make sure you're following the right diet, that you're not taking any medications, and that you don't have things like schizophrenia, which can be elevated and worse if you take psychedelics. So if you are choosing to go on the psychedelic journey, and it was the best thing I ever did for me, you want to make sure that you are doing it with the right people that ask you the right questions. So I just want to say that. I also feel that psychedelics are something that if you're called to it, you will know. Ayahuasca completely found me. I was not looking for her. I was in a horribly depressed place. I was completely shortly after my Saturn return, I was just a complete mess. And ayahuasca came into my life because I believe I have a soul contract with her, and she changed my life for the better. So I just like to share what I've learned from ayahuasca and mushrooms. Number one, we are not alone. We are never alone. We just can't always see it. The first night I did ayahuasca, I was completely aware of these little doctors working on me, healing my mind, healing my depression, healing my heart, healing my body, healing my soul. I could hear them saying, "She's really, really sick." I could hear them talking about me. I could feel their hands on my body. And my depression, my 20-year-long depression, was healed overnight as a result of this medicine. Other times on mushrooms, I have felt my ancestors. I have actually seen faces of spirit guides. It was a little eerie. And I have been aware of presence of loved ones that have passed on that were around me. And I was very aware that they were there healing me, that they completely are healing me, and also that they are really always with us. People say that a lot, but when you take psychedelics and you go to a different dimension, you're aware of things that are happening on a different frequency of reality that are always happening. It's just we're in this 3D reality, we're not aware of them. And I've just been so aware of guides, spirits, angels, God, always with us. I finally felt connected to God the last time I did mushrooms. I finally realized oh, it's nice to say, but I was I am from God, and I know that we all are, and I had an experience of it. So one is we're never alone. Number two, depression is a result of trauma. So I had depression off and on for 20 years, and I tried to self-medicate, drinking, party, drugs. I did do meditation and some positive things. Therapy never worked for me because I could never get to the root of what the depression was about. And when you do psychedelics, it will show you your deepest fears, your darkest secrets, your most painful moments of life. And it forces you to, first of all, face them, but face them in a new way. It shows you a different perspective of why things had happened. For example, if you were abandoned as a child, it will show you that that was a loving contract that you made so that you could choose yourself. Or if somebody died, it will show you, as painful as that is, it will show you that they're okay in another version of reality and that they still exist. It showed me ways that I was being not great to other people in my life, ways that I was being horrible, but it was also showing me why I was acting that way, the deeper pain of why I was not acting in integrity and love because of fear. But it shows you like trauma that you might not even be aware of. It showed me things from some of the stuff I couldn't tell if it was past life or ancestral, but it showed me deep memories of painful experiences that didn't happen in this lifetime. And it had me face them, see them from a different perspective, really face them and heal them. And that is why my depression was healed, because I faced all this stuff in my subconscious mind. It was absolutely incredible, because when I went to do ayahuasca, at that time of my life, I was so depressed. I was like drinking a lot and I couldn't get off the couch. And my former partner at the time, he went and did ayahuasca the week before me, and he saw me on the couch. Like, he saw me in his mind, and he saw this being. It was like an entity, and it was sucking energy from me. And the thing is, entities attach to us, especially if we're doing drugs or alcohol, because our aura is, we have holes in our aura. It's weakened. So it's easier for entities to attach to us. And what they're doing is they're just trying to get energy. They are sucking off of our negative energy, and they're living by us being in that energy. So it's like better for for us to be in a low vibration. So that's partly also why I was depressed. I had an entity feeding off of me and continuing to make me drink. So anyways, he was able to also see inside my mind and see these painful thoughts that I had. And he's the person that thankfully took me, forced me to go do ayahuasca. So that's where I was coming from. And then the night after, I was like reborn. I'm like, this is unbelievable. Now, I've done many plant medicine ceremonies. For me, it's not something that you just do once. For some people it is. You also have to integrate. But I continue to revisit mushroom ceremonies because there's different layers of things that are going on in my life. Past life stuff I'm ready to see in a new way, like stuff that I've dealt with. But depression is based on trauma, is what it showed me. And it absolutely healed my trauma. Number 3 is that past lives are absolutely real. Another thing is, this former partner of mine, I saw us in other lifetimes as like little kids, and I saw that he is like someone that's always been in my life, and we had a soul contract in this life. And I think part of the soul contract we had in this life was he helped me heal immensely. Now, he's not in my life anymore, but this was someone that I knew in past lives that helped to heal me in this life, and I hope that I helped to heal him as well. I saw stuff of myself in past lives. I had memories that I had to face that when I looked at it, it made sense for feelings and thoughts that I have about this life. Because there's sometimes we get blocks or subconscious thoughts or subconscious beliefs, and we're like, where does this come from? We try to do the inner child healing and it doesn't make sense. It's because they come from past lives. So I absolutely know that past lives are a real thing. I also saw that my dad, who was my dad in this life, like he was my son in another life, and we were brothers in another life, and just these contracts that we have with people and that we carry into different lifetimes. Number 4, I saw that you can break a soul contract and that it's not a bad thing. There was a soul contract that it's something that I've dealt with most of my life, this person in my life. I've done so much healing work on it, attracted similar relationships with the same energy, like tried so hard to clear it. It was like, what's wrong with me? Forgive, do this, do that. And the energy was just binding me. And in a mushroom ceremony, I saw us in a past life as tumultuous lovers that had this like erratic, horrible, codependent, just this horrible energy. And I decided, I used Dolores Cannon's soul contract agreement breaking. She has a way that she tells you to break soul contracts, and I did it, and the contract broke. And what was amazing was I realized that breaking that soul contract was fulfilling the soul contract, because what that person was representing in this lifetime was me needing to choose myself and me continuing to try to heal this relationship when I couldn't anymore and I'd done everything I could. Was I needed to break the soul contract so I could choose myself. So it showed me that soul contracts can be broken and that it's not necessarily a bad thing. I do think soul contracts are here to teach you something. Don't just do it as a cop out, but if you're like, I can't figure this out, break it, be done with it. I feel so much lighter, and now I feel vibrationally my connection with that person is completely different. And number 5 was something I learned on my most recent solo mushroom ceremony, was that we all close our hearts at a certain age, a certain time in our life. Something happens where we close off our hearts and we get stuck in that age. That's something about our frequency, there's a trapped inner child part of us. And I think most of us are actually operating from this trapped inner child, that this child got trapped at a certain age. For me, it was 2 years old. The last mushroom ceremony, I was triggered by a song where I remembered the moment my parents split up, and it broke my heart so badly that I completely closed my heart off, and it's been closed. And what the mushrooms had me do was I had to, like I said, they make you face your trauma. I had to relive that moment. And let me tell you, it was excruciating. The sadness, I felt like my heart was being ripped open. I felt all this energy like coming out of my heart, just reliving that moment of seeing my parents break up and how heartbreaking that was for a kid. But because I actually was able to face it, I was able to heal it, and now my heart is open. But I've been living a long time with my heart closed, and it just showed me that we have trapped inner children at certain moments, and it's going to be a different moment for everyone, where you decided to close your heart because it was too painful. And then the mushrooms helped me open it up. So I know a lot of people are wondering if psychedelics can cure depression. And again, I'm not a shaman, I'm not a doctor, but for me, they absolutely did. And I think people have to do their own research, and they have to talk to your own soul, because your soul knows what's right for you more than anything else. But after every single thing I had tried, that was what saved me. And I continue to be grateful for psychedelics. I continue to be grateful for the research, because some people need the research. They want to hear the research that, microdosing does this and does that. For me, I am my own research, and it's the greatest gift that the universe has ever given me. These beautiful plants are grown for us, I believe, because I believe that there is a cure for everything on this planet. And God, the universe, gave us the plants and herbs and things to heal us. And thankfully, Mother Ayahuasca did that for me, and I will never stop being grateful. So I hope this episode helped you out. If you're interested in psychedelics, I love them. I think they're amazing. Just make sure you are not taking certain medications. Do your research. Do it in a place with people that are good, and have a killer playlist. You want to have that's another thing I learned. I have a curated playlist that has 200 songs, and they're spiritual songs. But what's wild is I put it on shuffle, and when I'm doing mushroom ceremonies, it always goes to the song that I need. It'll do a song that has lyrics that hit me, that is exactly what I needed to hear. And I feel like God is in there playing like a DJ, playing whatever song is going to spark whatever healing that I need. So set and setting, and just knowing that you're never alone, and these plants are here to heal us. I hope you have a beautiful week, and I hope you do something today that your higher self thanks you for. Much love.